Lesson 29. Cars will most likely fly. Page 72. Conversation. A. Listen. What does the engineer say cars will be like in the future? What will be driving cars in the future?
So, could you tell me what you think cars of the future will be like?
Well, they'll be faster and lighter. Cars will be made of plastic, a light and very strong plastic.
Interesting. And what kind of fuels will they use?
They'll likely be using hydrogen. They'll definitely be cleaner than today's cars. We're working on zero-emission cars.
That will be fantastic. Is it possible that cars may not need drivers?
Oh, yes. One day, computers will make all the decisions for the driver and even control the driving. The driver will just sit back and relax.
Page 73. Listening. A. Listen. A radio host is interviewing a futurologist. Check the things a futurologist does.
Welcome to our show. I'm your host, Robin Lynn, and here in our studio is Graham Mercer. He is what you call a futurologist. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks so much for having me.
Now, the term futurologist may be new to some of our listeners. What is that exactly?
Right. A futurologist is someone who discusses future events based on current events and trends. We are not psychic. We don't see the future.
So, do you claim to predict the future?
Actually, no. No one can do that. What we do is suggest things that are or aren't likely.
I see. But don't we all talk about and imagine the future to some extent? Isn't everyone then a futurologist?
No. We may look at and study trends, and this can involve a lot of statistics. We also talk about the future based on the past and present.
So is futurology an art or science?
That's a good question. Most people actually consider it a branch of history.
History, that's interesting.
It's because we look at the past and see patterns there, and consider present conditions as well. We look at how things change or stay the same, and by doing so, we map possible futures.
Do you look at the future in the short term or long term?
Long term. We don't look at things that will happen right away.
So you can't tell me what will be in fashion next season?
I'm afraid not.
Page 73. Listening. B. Listen to the rest of the interview. Does the futurologist think these things are probable or not probable? Check the correct column.
Okay, I think I have a good understanding of what you do. Do you mind if I ask you some specific questions about how likely some things will be in the future?
Not at all.
I read once that people will store their minds on a computer in the future. Could that really happen?
Oh, yes. I think that's quite likely. It may be 50 years away, but yes, quite likely.
Wow. How about this? Will there be brain transplants?
Again, I think probably yes, there will be. There will be a lot of changes in medicine in the future.
Amazing. What about time travel? We see that in science fiction movies all the time.
I'd have to say that probably won't happen. It's a fun thing to think about, though.
Let's talk more about computers. Will they have emotions?
Yes, probably. I think that one day they will be able to have feelings.
Fascinating. And many people want to live forever. Is that likely?
I'd have to say no. People will live longer, that's for sure. It's happening now. But we have our limits as humans.
Excuse me, but we need to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this word from our sponsor.